All right. Hello, everybody. We are so excited to have you on this call to talk about our fifth study abroad trip to Costa Rica. My name is Dr. Ellen Kester. I am founder of Bilinguistics, and I'm here with Scott Pratt.
Vice President Bilinguistics. Also happy to see all you guys. Look forward to meeting you. You join us down in Costa Rica.
And we're here with Chad Allen from Therapy Abroad. This is going to be a very informal call. We want you all to please feel free to put your questions in. We're going to start with just a little bit about each of our organizations, and then we will run through the schedule for the Costa Rica trip. And then we put the five most common questions that we get, so we'll answer those, and then you will have an opportunity to ask us other questions if we do not answer your questions in the time in the slides that we have put together. A little bit about bilinguistics. We've been around since 2002 with the goal of supporting students from diverse backgrounds, as well as supporting these speech language pathologists who serve these students. We do this we have monthly workshops. We have a membership group called SLP Impact. We do monthly webinars as a part of that. We do weekly blogs, which I know many of you who are on this call receive. We do workshops for school districts, online professional development. We've developed resources, lots of all the ways that we can think of to support speech pathologists in their work with the very diverse populations that we work with.
Yeah, and all that this is to say that all of this information, the culmination of putting all this together across the years, has resulted in these trips where we can all set down what we're doing and take a solid week and go somewhere else away from the distractions in our school districts and our clinic and focus on the best and the most advanced of the practices that we use and the most modern approaches to ways in which we're doing therapy and intervention with all students. And the results are absolutely spectacular that we reduce our caseloads, that we get the right kids on, that we serve as really big advocates for all the families in our community. And aside from everything we do, this is by far the most fun way to make it happen.
It is a great trip, which we enjoy very much. A little bit about kind of how this trip came about, and I will say it started with Chad Allen reaching out and saying, "Hey, would you guys be interested in working together to do this?" So Chad and his group, and he'll tell you a little bit more about his group in a moment, but they've run programs for students, and he had, heard from many, many professionals who said, "Could we do a trip for the grown-ups too?" So here we are. We first started talking about this right before the pandemic. We had planned a trip, which we didn't get to do. And then as soon as we could after that, we started. And we are now on the fifth trip. And we are super excited about that. We'll tell you a little about the others as well. This is your team. You've just met us all. I'm Ellen Kester. For those of you who were not logged in yet, when I said that, Ellen Kester, Bilinguistics, with Scott Prath of Bilinguistics and Chad Allen of Therapy Abroad. Chad, do you want to share a little bit about your group?
Sure. Thanks, Ellen. Yeah, my name is Chad Allen. I'm the co-founder and managing director of Therapy Abroad. We've been in existence for about 12 years, setting up study abroad programs for universities. We work with more than 70 universities around the country, offering CSD and SLP undergraduate and graduate study abroad opportunities in around 10 countries. And yeah, we've been doing that. And we also have been doing this trip now for 5 years with Bilinguistics. We offer different volunteer opportunities and yeah, anything and everything for speech and CSD programs around the country. And yeah, just happy to partner up and do this again. And one of the countries that people have been asking us the most about, Costa Rica.
Yes. Okay, we've covered introductions. We're going to give you a trip overview. We will walk through each day and what we're going to do each day, answer common questions, and then we will dive in and answer your questions. And if you, please feel free to drop questions in the chat box as we're talking, if you would like. We can also let people come on and ask a question at the end as well, if you'd like to. Okay, this is, as we've said, this is trip number 5. So our first trip was to San Ignacio, Belize in 2022. Next, we went to Cabarete, Dominican Republic in 2023. We returned to Belize in 2024. And then last year, we were in Cork, Ireland. And we have several people who have been return guests on these trips. In fact, I think there are 2 of them who, one of them has signed up. This is his 4th out of the 5 trips. And then one other person has done 3. We'll see if she comes again too. So we've had tons of fun. I think that getting together, being together for a week, we work in the mornings, we play in the afternoons. It's very rich, and we'll get to meet professionals from the area. It's overall just a really fun way to get CEUs. And we learn a lot together, and we make connections. We have stayed connected with people who have been on these trips over the years, and it really just, your network of speech pathology friends grows with every trip. Our trip overview, we leave on, or it kicks off on July 19th, and we go through the 24th in Jaco, Costa Rica. And we will earn 20 ASHA CEUs. So that's really awesome. Those times when you have to go and report all your CEUs at the end of the year, it's really cool to have a certificate that says, here's 20 hours right here. We will spend mornings learning together in the classroom at the hotel, and then we'll have excursions out into the community. Why did we pick Costa Rica? One, it's a short flight for many of us, for most of us. After the trip to Cork last summer, that was a bit of a haul. Well worth it, but Costa Rica is a much quicker flight. It is beautiful. We'll have beautiful beaches. There's also a very rich indigenous culture. So we'll learn a lot about the culture while we're there. We'll have people come in to talk to us about language and culture and all of that good stuff, which in turn helps us serve our diverse populations better. And Costa Rica is famous for its pura vida spirit. And I noted that we all need more of that. All right, here's the schedule. July 19th, we're going to arrive in Costa Rica. You will fly into the San Jose airport. There are 2 main airports in Costa Rica. One is Liberia, which is up north. You don't want to fly into that one unless you're planning to do some traveling. The San Jose one is much closer to Jaco, where we will be doing our program. We'll have buses running from the San Jose, Costa Rica airport, and we'll have 2 buses each day, on the arrival day and then on the departure day. Those will be planned around people's flights. And then we'll get to the hotel. Hopefully you'll have a little time to unwind. And then we'll have a dinner from 6 to 8. We'll have a speaker at that dinner, and Chad will share some of the just details of what we need to know for the week. And we'll all start getting to know each other at dinner. That will be at the hotel, that dinner. The next morning we get up and we'll have breakfast at the hotel, and the classroom, as I said, is at the hotel as well. So we'll talk about evaluating students who speak a language you don't and working with interpreters. And then we'll get out of the hotel. We're going to walk to lunch nearby. Note that what I have in green is for the professionals, is for the SLPs, and the things that are in black, like walk to lunch nearby, our family and friends join us for those. So then after lunch, on Monday is the only day that we have a full day for professionals. So we'll have lunch with our family, but we'll go back to the hotel and we'll be meeting with professionals from different health industries in Costa Rica. Specifically, we'll also have people who are speech therapists, but adjacent fields as well. Okay. The next day In the classroom, we will have difference or disorder, and we're going to address speech first and then language. And then we go out, and you'll see in black, we will go to do a river boat safari. That'll be with our friends and family. We will have lunch as part of that excursion. So we will, after the presentations, we'll have probably about 15 to 30 minutes, and then we'll board buses and we'll all go on the excursion together. And then Wednesday, dynamic assessment and literacy-based intervention. So we're starting, you can see we're starting with the assessment pieces, and then we move into intervention. And then Wednesdays, everybody always wants a free day to play. So Wednesday afternoon, as soon as we're done with our morning session, you are free to go do whatever you want to do. There are waterfall hikes, horseback riding, surf lessons, a Costa Rican food tour, zip lining is always a blast, shops, cafes, whatever floats your boat. Chad is going to put together details of all the places that you can call to get your adventure set up. That will go out about 45 days before the trip. Is that right, Chad? Yeah. And so you can, and you're free to explore on your own too, but that is something he will be providing to everyone. And then Thursday is our final day in the classroom. We'll have curriculum-based intervention, and increasing parent involvement will be our morning topics. And then we kind of have some free time in the afternoon before we have our final dinner together. That dinner will be on the beach with music and fun, and that, of course, is family and friends will join us for that piece as well. And then on Friday, we get up and we head out and either head home or head out on another adventure. Okay, so that's our schedule. Now let's talk about these are our 5 most common questions. Where is it? Can we bring family? How much does it cost? What's included? And what's the one over here? Can we stay longer? Okay. So where is the conference? We will be, as I said, in Jaco, Costa Rica at Crocs Resort. So Jaco is, you can see on the map to the right, it's about an hour and a half of a drive from the San Jose airport to the resort. We will go on a bus. Let me back up and say, if you are coming earlier or staying later, there are airport shuttles that you can get to get yourself back and forth. But we will have 2 buses on the arrival day and the departure day.
And car rental is also really common in Costa Rica if you haven't been down there to see other parts of the country. And moving around, very accessible, leading up to getting there by the dinner on Sunday night if you're going early rather than staying after.
And pretty easy to drive in that area. I rented a car there last year and it was no problems. Can we bring family? Yes, is the answer to that. Family is included, so we'll share the rates for family members here shortly. Family is included in all the meals, the transportation, the activities. We've had some questions about childcare. It can be arranged. I think that if you have a small child and you're a single professional, that would be a lot to try to arrange that. But for couples who are wanting to go out to dinner and that sort of thing, yes, it can be arranged. I think I will have my teenage and 20-something-year-old kids with me, who are always up to help out as well. They're like, thanks, Mom. Thank you. We all usually bring our families along and put them to work. They got to earn their keep. Okay. How much does it cost, Chad? I'm going to let you walk through this piece.
Okay, thanks, Ellen. Yeah, so we have a booking page. If you go there, everything is really self-explanatory. But if you have any questions about it, or how to do add-ons, how to add family and guests, just reach out to us and we'll walk you through it. Essentially, to confirm space on the program, it's a $500 deposit. So it's a short booking form and then the deposit. If you're bringing a guest, it's going to be an additional $250 for each guest. And that basically allows us to confirm with the hotel and get those rooms all confirmed. Um, the standard price for an SLP wanting to share a room is 2,500. That includes everything that we talked about. And then what we do, and we haven't had I don't think we've had any complaints. I know there's some people who've been on trips before, probably on this call, who tell you, I think we do a really good job of pairing up SLPs based on age and kind of similarities, geographic area, so that yeah, that's really worked out really well. So if that's something you're up for, making a new friend on the trip, that's a great option. Otherwise, you can upgrade to a private ocean view room. Those standard rooms are going to be like a garden view room. So, and then the upgraded room will be the private ocean view room. If you are adding a guest, and Ellen just put the link to the booking on there. If you're bringing a guest, the way we decided to do it is this year to make the most sense is you just go ahead and book that $2,500 SLP spot. And then on the next page, there's going to be add-ons for guests. And then when you add a guest, your room's going to be automatically upgraded. So if you're adding a guest for 1950, that is going to automatically upgrade the room to an ocean view room. And you can either pick a queen, two queens, or a king size bed. So if you're sharing a bed with a partner, choose that, or you can do two queen beds. And then, of course, if you have a third guest, an older child, that's additional, that's 850. And then any kids under 5, whether you have additional guests or if you want to stay on your own, and you need to upgrade your room and then add a guest under 5. So for an SLP who's bringing a child or two and they're under 5, you could simply upgrade your room and then add those kids at that price. Again, there's a lot of things there. So if you have any questions about that, just reach out to me, and we'll walk you through it. But we've moved it. We've put it in the booking. It's laid out what you should book, what not to book, if you're bringing guests or not. So that should all be pretty clear. But at the end of this call, also happy to answer any questions about that.
Bless you too,
Um,
Chad.
what's that?
Can we stay longer?
Yeah. So, great question. We've had this come up already from guests who've already booked. Absolutely. We encourage you to stay longer if you want. I know a lot of people are thinking about arriving early, and some of you might be thinking about staying later. So, yes, you can. The process is very simple. Just go ahead and make your booking, and then send us an email. Send me an email. Tell me the dates that you want to stay. Just confirm the booking if you want. Otherwise, what I'll do is I'll go back and look at the room you booked. I'll match that up. And if you're arriving, let's say 2 days early and you want to stay in the same hotel, then I'll make sure you have the same room for the entire 7 days in that case. So same if you want to stay longer, and you'll book with us. You'll just let me know. We will get you the same price that we get for the rooms, a discounted rate. I'll let the hotel know, and we'll book those rooms for you. And then what we'll do is we'll just whatever the additional cost for that room is, I'll let you know first before you confirm, and then I'll add that to your bill, essentially to your invoice, for the remaining program. Invoice that I should have mentioned that in the cost. After you pay that initial deposit, the first payment's going to be due in about 60 days from now. Let's say if you book this week, and then the final payment will be due 60 days prior to departure. Sorry, 90 days prior to departure. If you need to extend that a little bit, we're flexible. We can stretch that out a little bit for you up to 60 days, and we can also break the payments into more than 2 chunks. Whatever you want, we're really flexible with that. So just let us know.
Okay, there's a question in the chat box, Chad, about whether two SLPs, each with a guest, can stay together, so 4 people in a room. So that would be 2,500 each SLP, I believe, and then 850 for each guest.
Yeah, I don't think that would be a problem. I don't know if mathematically that I'd have to look and see if that works out in your benefit or not, whether it would make more sense just to get 2 rooms. But yeah, I mean, We can work that out. The base price is still the same. So I just need to, you can just email me and we can walk through it, make sure it's whatever the best value is for you. But yeah, we can do that.
Okay, those are the top 5 questions. What other questions do you have for us? Just to clarify, meals and excursions are included. Yes, so for meals, we have a slide on.
All but 2 lunches are included.
So we
Um,
have,
yeah.
yeah, breakfast every day is included. Monday lunch, we walk to the restaurant. Tuesday lunch is included in the river trip. And then we don't have lunch Wednesday or Thursday. Wednesday's the free day. And then Thursday is the day you have a free afternoon until the dinner. Um, and then and then we'll have dinner on Sunday night and dinner on Thursday night. So there are a few meals in there that you'll cover, basically about a meal a day, with the exception of Wednesday, where you will just have breakfast on that day. And then you also will have breakfast included with your room on Friday, um, before you depart.
Yeah. You will need some spending cash. That's one of the questions. For some of those meals, you don't need a city cash. Most places there are going to take credit cards, so that's not going to be an issue. But you'll need extra spending for any extra activities you want to do. It's a big surfing beach, so if you want to do surf lessons, something like that, would be one of those excursions would be extra, and then meals, and then of course souvenirs. But it shouldn't be too much. Most things are included. Um,
On that, let me add really quickly. So the
yeah.
Wednesday free afternoon, we'll provide a list of suggested ideas, but that one is on your own as well. So that's not include whatever you choose to do isn't included in the trip. That's just a free afternoon.
Yeah, in terms of the question is, what do guests typically do while you guys are in your trainings? Um,
Everything fun.
yeah, most guests will sleep in a little bit longer, have breakfast at their leisure, and then hit the beach, hit the pool, and then by that time it's 12 o'clock and we're all meeting up for lunch and getting ready to do something. So that's the most typical, but we do get guests who will get up early, do excursions. We'll have like a concierge service available, so we're going to be there, and if you have questions about guests. My family's going to be there. We won't be attending all the sessions. Scott and Ellen's family will be there. So we'll get together once we have the group of people. We know all of the guests, and I know already there's going to be a lot of guests. So from the people who've already signed up, a lot are bringing guests already. So there's going to be lots of company, lots of other guests, lots of partners and friends and moms and sisters coming along. So we'll put everybody in contact with each other so that people can plan group excursions if you want. But we'll get into all that, when we get a little bit closer to the time. But yeah, there's going to be a lot to do. Just walking down the beach is something people would be doing. That's why we did this on the beach, is just because there is so much to do in that area. Um, Oh, great question. Do we have any retired SLPs joining? We
They're
have
the
had retired
wildest
SLPs
ones.
almost every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a surprise. Maybe the first year it was. But we always have a group of retired SLPs. The age range for this particular program has been 21 to like 70, mid 70, late 70s, I think. And then we've had people bringing their moms and who are even older than that. So it's a huge age range. Everybody that wants to join is welcome to join, and we'll be accommodating to everybody. So yeah.
Yeah, that is one of the coolest aspects of this trip is that we from students to recent graduates to new people, there's professors who've brought their students, retired people, as well as clinic personnel and early intervention personnel and school personnel. And it's great to sit there with many aspects of our field and varieties of experiences and focus on these issues that are needs across the entire speech pathology landscape. So
Mhm.
that is a really great aspect of this.
Yep.
Very
Another good
cool to see
question.
you.
Do we need to arrive between certain time frame at San Jose on the 19th? No. What we're gonna do, the great thing is Ellen and I just looked, Scott just looked, I think last week at flight prices. Flight prices are still really great
Great.
to San Jose. We looked at LA, Denver, New York, Dallas, most of the major hubs, and prices were a lot of them were under $500 still. So there are great flights, a lot of direct flights. And what we're going to do is we're going to wait till everybody gets their flights, kind of sends their flights into us. Most flights are going to arrive in like kind of block times. So we're going to wait till we get all the flights in. We're not going to constrain when you can fly in. And then we're going to book those shuttles, the buses, so that it's the most accommodating for the most amount of people. So like a midday for early arrivals, and then a late afternoon, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock for sort of those afternoon arrivals. Um,
You-
I'll, if you have
Chad,
any
do you want
questions
to?
about that, we can help with that as well.
Yeah, Chad, do you want to give your incognito window disclaimer for people
Sure.
who start looking?
If you're not someone like me who books flights right all the time, every day, and this is new to you, just one quick recommendation is if you use a browser window, use the incognito. I think on Google Chrome it's called incognito. On Mozilla and Apple, I don't know what it's called, but it's like
Private window.
private window. You go to that, and what that does is it doesn't store what they call like cookies or your cache. So it doesn't store information about what you're looking at. And then I use the website Kayak. Ellen, can you type that in while I'm talking? Just kayak.com or Google Flights when you're looking for those flights. And then it doesn't track you because what happens is they'll look at you're looking at a flight over and over again. The price starts going up. That shouldn't really happen. That's the airline being tricking you into like thinking there's like the price is going up and there's a high demand, and you're going to lose the flight or the price can keep going up. So use those incognito windows to book your flights. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Like I said, I book a lot of flights, so I'm happy to help anybody out booking flights and looking at that for you.
Great.
Um, terms of excursions, anything that is part of the program, we're taking care of all that for guests, for everybody. In terms of the free day and you booking your own excursions, what we're going to do is we're going to provide you with a vetted list. I'm going to make sure we go through and I'm going to call different providers. I'm going to ask people on the ground who they recommend, and make sure that we give you a list, a comprehensive list of the best people to book with at the best prices. I'm going to try to organize some rate discount rates for those as well if we recommend them. And then I'm going to send you that list here after you book at some point. And then you can book directly with them and use a coupon code if we have it, or just tell them you're booking with us. That way you get a discount. That'll go directly through the provider, not through us. And we'll just do that to help out.
That's great.
Yeah.
Will there be group rates for airfare? No. Airlines have gotten they're not very nice anymore when it comes to that. They used to give group flight discounts, and we used to book group flights for all of our trips. We booked 1,000+ seats a year. They don't do group discounts anymore. Now they actually charge us for the convenience of booking a group flight. So it's no longer cost effective to book group flights. It's much cheaper for you to book your own flight and from your own home airport and do it. So that's always going to be the cheaper option now. So no such thing as a group discount anymore. So we hope you just book your own. Like I said, I'll help you with that if you need help.
Di-
Um,
Diane asks, is the cost of the trip able to be used as a tax deduction for professional development?
Well, we're not tax advisors, but if you itemize your taxes and that's and you're able to do that, then yes, it is a cost of keeping up your license to get professional development. So depending on your tax situation, yes, it is certainly possible to do that.
And it's same like people are asking about the cost and that, and taking into consideration the salaries and what people make and how we can get someplace that's cost effective for everyone. we did bounce it against like what people would spend for ASHA. And it's kind of the same thing that you would go to ASHA, you'd spend $500-600 for the ticket, the flights to get there,
The hotels are always
four,
outrageous.
five, $600 to stay in those bigger cities for those nights. And you walk away with the people we talk to, 8 CEUs, 10 CEUs, 12 if you're packing in a couple poster sessions. So we wanted to double the CEU cost, but then kind of get in that camp. And all of those same costs you would pay to go to ASHA or your state convention. In essence, that's what's going on here. You'd have a flight, you'd have a hotel. It's just all baked together. I'll also say too that in each year, this is person specific too. We've had people who have traveled with uh they've taken the trip and they've applied to their district. I know one woman in Connecticut had her entire trip covered. There's cultural grants for districts, $500, $750 that they've applied for. And then the trade, I know the woman in Connecticut, she had to go back and present to her staff in August some of the things they learned. So be on the lookout with what your groups are actually offering for you to bring this knowledge back.
And if you have a professional development budget as part of your, working package, you can always ask if you can apply that portion towards the trip as well. So yeah, it's been fun to see people get creative about ways to get at least portions of a trip taken care of.
Yeah, and I just want to say this is our 5th year running this program. We've kept the exact same pricing for all 5 years. We do that intentionally. We want to keep the pricing as low as possible. So it's been great. We've been able to grow this each year and bringing as many people as we do. It allows us to get good rates on everything. So yeah, so we'll keep the cost down. We're hoping we feel like and I think you can ask anybody, and we're happy to share those names of people with you if you want to speak to anybody who's gone before. Like Ellen mentioned, we have a couple people going on this trip already signed up who've been on more than a couple of these already. So I know they could share information with you on kind of the value of the trip. Even though our US dollar is not doing great these days, and the prices definitely are not going down. So we're happy to be able to still offer the same pricing. Let me jump into another question here. If you're going to stay later at the resort, will the resort help you get a shuttle service back to the airport? Absolutely. Well, I don't know, Ellen and Scott, if you were staying later. I know we're all arriving a couple days early, but I don't think any of us are staying later. However, we will make sure that you have all the information you need way prior to departing. Within the next couple months, I'll send you detailed information on what to do if you are going to stay later and stay at the same hotel, how to get back to the airport, booking the shuttle, all that good information. We'll make sure you're taken care of. The hotel has been very cooperative, very helpful in all this, and I have no doubt they will be available to help out with that as well. But I think the shuttle, if you don't catch our bus and go on those days, the shuttle's like $40 back to the airport per person. Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to add a little bit more about the continuing education program. So as I mentioned, we have 20 hours. We also set everyone up with access. So we create a page that everybody who's on the trip has access to. So you have the list of all the courses that we'll be presenting while we're there, as well as all of the resources that go with that. So it's the handouts, it's also all of the things that we mentioned in that presentation. We will have links to that in there. So you'll have this nice package of everything you need to work with individuals who speak another language or come from a different culture or that sort of thing. So that will, and it will be things that you will be able to use in your job when you return.
Yeah, and tell you now, but as a surprise bonus for people who attend, you would think that in 20 hours we'd be able to get everything in there. But ultimately, there's questions specific to life skills, specific to VPI or cleft palate or autism that we just can't cover in the time. Well, SLP Impact, our online community, we have over 100 courses on these very topics. So people who attend, we give free access to SLP Impact through August so that we can stay on the topic. And then as people need specific information, we want you to have that information to serve your population wherever you are. And you'll have access to the entire biolinguistics course library through the end of August to jump back out and get any information that you need.
Okay, let me jump on and answer a few more questions. It popped up in a different chat box for some reason. So is there a visa required? No. Not if you're from the US. If you're national of another country, reach out to me. I can look it up, research it for you if you're not sure. But not if you're coming from the US. Is there public transportation? There is, but there's also shuttles. And if you're going to be booking any kind of activity, that's not on the beach where we're at, like surfing, if it's going to be going to visit a rainforest park or do something else in the area, transportation will be part of that package. So anything you book, they're going to come pick you up at the hotel. You're not going to have to arrange your own transport to get there. That might be an option, but from everything I've looked into and researched so far, they just pick you up at the hotel. So that's included. Um, and then Ellen and Scott, there's one for
Yeah.
you.
Yep.
It's about, yeah, I'll
All
take
the
this.
learning
So,
sessions. Do you see that one?
yeah, are all the learning sessions focused on bilingual students, for example, parent engagement, literacy sessions? So the answer is yes and no. The way we look at this and the framework that we present is it's a unique angle on this because rather than saying, here's information for when a child has another language at home, and this is for all the monolingual children, what are the things we can do and learn that apply to every child, regardless of his language, his experience, and his home? And that's what you're getting throughout this week. Yes, the difference or disorder content focuses specifically on the bilingual development, which all of us have. There's no longer, can't even imagine a speech pathologist that does not have diversity and culture on their caseload. But can we do things in therapy? And can we do things in the home? Or can we get parents involved in a way that's true of everyone and not exclusionary? And the exciting answer is yes. And that most of this stuff works better than things we've been doing in the past and is an infinitely less amount of time in terms of planning and our ability to reduce caseload, which gives us time. So there is a focus on diversity because that's our reality, but it applies to everyone. And the perennial question, Arlene, we don't know. What location will the program be located at next year? It's always in development, and we don't know. We may know by the end of this year, and we announce it to the people who are there, but that's the earliest we'd be able to say. Okay.
It will be somewhere different. It'll be somewhere different every year.
Not Wisconsin and not Costa Rica. You can say that.
That narrows it down, doesn't it?
Well, this has been amazing. For those of you that have specific questions about your specific situation, where you're coming from, who you want to come with, please reach out with those questions. Go ahead and register. This is filling up fast. We've always filled it up within the February, March timeframe and purposely keep these trips manageable and small so that we get to know everybody by the end of this and can have a really, really unique experience. Several had said it was rejuvenating. It's a once in a lifetime chance to do this, which is absolutely true, unless you keep coming back.
Right. Here were some of the comments that people shared with us. Participating in this program is a life-changing experience. You return a different person. You're more knowledgeable, you're humbled, you're grateful, you've gained more friends, you're a better person. How about that? That's really good. Thank you, Therapy Abroad and Biolinguistics, for allowing me to learn in a way that I will never forget. So that's cool. Here was another comment. It was a career rejuvenation trip. It was great connecting with like-minded colleagues from all over the country that are passionate about supporting linguistic diversity and multiculturalism in underserved communities to foster equitable opportunities. And last but not least, I am elated to have spent a week with people who seek to ensure that everyone has access to a seat at the table, who are able to verbally recognize their inherent societal privileges and who amplify the voice and experiences of people who are less represented. I feel this belief was reaffirmed every day of this trip in a variety of ways and with sincerity. So those were some of the comments that we got. I mean, it was hard to pick from. People have had such amazing experiences. We feel that too. We really get to connect with people on these trips, and it's really lovely. So we hope that you will join us. We've put our emails in the chat box. If you have content related questions, please reach out to me or to Scott or both of us. And if you have logistics related questions about flights and transportation and booking excursions, please reach out to Chad. All right. Thanks so much.
Thank
We
you.
will see
Thanks, everyone.
you soon.